not give somebody my number ever again. I had a pretty traumatizing experience.
By not giving
them my number. There was 3 gentlemen that came into my bar, and then there was one that was kind of in the middle, but he was flashy. He was always like showing off his money, asked for my number multiple times. I kept saying I was good. He was like, if you don't give me your number, I'm gonna get it one way or another. So if you don't give it to me, I'm gonna follow you out to your car and I'm gonna take it. The night goes on, he's refusing to pay his tab. He's like, I'll pay my tab once you give me your number. And I was like, bro, it's not that serious. Like, my manager comes out. She's like, all right, guys, it's time to, you know what I'm saying, pack it up and go, pay your tabs. And he's like, I ain't paying shit. So he took all of his money and threw it in her face and was like, pick my money up, bitch. They started grabbing glasses off of my bar and started chucking them at all of my coworkers and my managers. They assaulted my bar back. They started flipping chairs over, throwing food. They destroyed our, if you know what a POS system is, that little computer that people use to ring stuff in.
Yeah.
They caused about a couple $1,000s worth of damage. Cops got called or whatever, got them up out of there. But it was real scary because they were acting like they had a gun. Like, I don't think people really realize how dangerous it is to be a woman nowadays. Just something as simple as saying no thank you can set a man not in his right frame of mind over the top. I'm like, it's not even worth the headache. I have a block button. I can just take your number and block you whenever I get home.
Some men struggle with rejection. We'll start with you, MJ.
Yeah, some men do struggle with rejection. It does get very violent. Since I'm up here in the city, we had that situation with the lady coming home for work, and because she refused to allow a group of guys to buy alcohol for her when she went to go get wine, they ended up jumping her, and that situation happened. It's unfortunate. A lot of women are scared now. We don't know why it's getting to the point where it's the rejection that the men are feeling is so bad that they have to resort to, well, I'm the larger vessel, I'm the stronger vessel. So now I don't have to be the quote unquote gentleman. I can act in my natural nature, which is like brute force. It's not beneficial. It doesn't help us. It makes women more scared. Makes women don't feel comfortable around men, and even it could be a man who don't even show those type of traits. It's like women being, I guess, like being on alarm, or, having their wall up initially all the time, and have to look over their shoulders now. It's unfortunate, really. But yeah, I do see it happen. I'm just lucky I never had that type of experience. Most of the guys that if I had to reject them because I am polite to them and I just say I'm not interested, but thank you so much. Thank you for even, acknowledging me, or things like, they usually are very nice and cool and they say, all right, beautiful, just have a good day. So I'm fortunate that I haven't had that experience, but I'm not going to take away for the women who did have that.
Okay. Go ahead, Val Van Dam. Some men struggle with rejection. You're on mute, just so you know, man.
Sorry. With my experience on that, I feel you never know who you're fucking with. Like you never know who they are. So when I'm alone, anytime, even with my friends, I handle it with grace. I politely tell them I'm married, and then guys will come back with, so what? What does that have to do with me? And I just handle it like gracefully and politely, so I don't antagonize the situation. I'm not rude to people. So that's how I handle it. And I haven't had any unfortunate circumstances like women had with violence in that.
Okay, so if a man was pressuring you for your number, would you give him your number? And if so, would you give him the real number just in case he called on the spot?
I do. I give it because I also run a business, and that could be potentially a new client for my event space, or I offer like date nights or video. We do photography and music videos and commercials. So again, you never know who you're meeting. That could possibly be a potential client. And if he's trying to date and I'm unavailable, I have a lot of girlfriends, so I don't turn people away. I'm trying to accumulate as many as many contacts as I can.
Okay, happy that. Go ahead, Sham Monet.
ain't never had nobody get that crazy. They may call you a name or something, in the younger years, but I usually gentlemen, they'll understand, they'll apply pressure, but once you don't give in, they understand. But I do think that this has become at this time, especially in this generation, it's becoming entitled. They're very entitled to people. And when you don't get your way, you may, handle things. And it's not even about just rejection. It's about anything. The way they react to things when they don't get their way, very spoiled group of people. They act crazy like this. They don't know how to, control themselves. It's absolutely ridiculous. But personally, I haven't had anything of that nature, but I have had, like people say, some, inappropriate things. So I just keep walking. Have a blessed day, dear, and just keep it moving. But I have seen, people calling people being like real bad with it and like just keep on walking. You just say a friend, just keep on walking. Let's leave. And I do know that there was a time when I had to get a fake number because Google gives out numbers. Give them a fake number so they can call. You can see. So women have started to do that. But yeah, it's crazy out here when it comes to dating. I don't know what's going on, JR.
Wait,
Crazy.
Jay.
Yeah, I was gonna say, man, get home safe. You know what I mean? Whatever you have to do to get home safe, because there are truly some suckers out here. The male ego is fragile. It's very fragile. I mean, I've never done anything to that extent. Rejection hurts, and for a long period of time, it did hurt. But not to the point where I wanted to take somebody off the planet or I wanted to strangle somebody. But and this is not throwing any excuses. I have seen some women be very disrespectful in their rejection, for whatever reasons. And I'm just like, and I'm thinking to her, like, yo, this dude could break your neck right here and just get in his car and leave. I'm thinking that too. Like, if women that are like that, like, yo, keep us safe. Say no, thank you. I appreciate the offer, but no, thank you. I'm not interested. Try to be polite as possible. Try to make it home safe. But I've seen some women just air some dudes out, and I know how it is as a man. You work up the heart, man. You sitting at the bar and you like, damn, man, should I walk over there, man? You working up the energy to, the nerve to just walk to their table, and then you walk over there and somebody just air you out in front of the damn restaurant. Like, that shit is destruction. You know what I'm saying? So you have to,
You know,
Relate Jesus.
and can I just add on to something you said, Jay? I think that that's the most important thing. I have a tendency, if a guy I don't like I'll say, "Oh, thank you, you just made my day." And then I was like, "If I can't, I'm sorry." You have to. I've seen people, especially my students. I get on my girls for this. They'll joke on them. And I'm like, "You don't even know what kind of day that dude's got. You don't know what his home life is like, and that could be the tipping point. And you just."
yeah.
Lit them up. So I do that. I agree with that, Jay. That's
So since 2020, like me personally, everybody gets grace. Step on my shoes, cut me off in traffic. We in the line at the supermarket. Everybody gets grace because you don't know what people are going through. You understand what I'm saying? And like you said, Shane, you don't know what people's tipping point is. This dude has been having a terrible week, but he sees this beautiful woman and he walks over to the table, and then all her friends, they just air him out, like, and he walks back to that bar thinking, I should just murder this entire restaurant. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what people are going through. Shit is getting real tough right now internally, man. People are fronting. You see Instagram, people smiling in front of damn foreign cars, but people are about to go crazy. They're going crazy internally. So give everybody grace, get home safe, yo. That's all I say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely say that. Oh, I'm sorry. No, I just wanted to say, yes, give everyone grace. That's also included women because, again, you might see this woman, you think she's beautiful. You don't know what she's going through. Sometimes she doesn't necessarily need to hear somebody say to tell her that she she should smile. You don't know if she got kicked out of her home. You don't know if she lost her job. You don't know if she got in a big argument with a family member or a loved one or lost one. You see, so again, it's on both sides. So I definitely agree with you. Give people grace and not just necessarily think that everything they're doing is just because it's you. It could be, other hidden things that's happening in their life, especially if they're strangers.
I do have a question. So why is it such a big issue of men telling women they should smile or you should smile or whatever? Why I know that was a big thing a couple years back or recently, but like why I never understood why that was a problem.
It's not. Oh, I'm sorry. Go
No,
ahead,
you can go. Yeah,
Oh, you're saying Shimona? Okay,
I
thank
guess
you. I was just gonna say that I don't really think it's a problem of saying smile, right? Like we are smart enough, women are smart enough to know if a man's saying that you should smile, that he thinks that you're beautiful enough that he would just love to see a smile on your face. We get that, but it comes off as you don't necessarily. If I'm in a bad mood, I don't want to smile. That me smiling is not going to take away whatever bad emotion or feeling that I'm having right now. So now it leads on the level of being forced to make you comfortable. You want me to smile, not because I'm comfortable.
So why is there the assumption? Why is there the assumption that he wants you to smile to make him comfortable?
Because if she wanted to smile, she would be smiling.
And sometimes I think that people just have things on. Okay,
go ahead, Shan. Go ahead, Shan.
And sometimes I think that people just have things on their mind. It's almost like when you go to the store and they be like, "Hey, what's your cell phone carrier?" You know how you just be like, "Hi, I just don't want to talk." It's like you're in a moment. You could be thinking about some stuff. You got the list in your head, and you just threw me off. And you're right. You could be just having a bad day. You can have a day. And you like smile. And so it is. It's not a problem with saying smile, but do you go up to white women and say smile, smile? They don't be smiling either.
I mean, if the person approached you, right, and I think that it doesn't even matter if they're attracted to you or whatnot. If you're sitting if we're both at the restaurant, I can see you off to my side and you just have this blank face or whatever, right? And to me, I'm assuming that when men do that, because whenever I've done it, I don't think I've done it like often like that, but whenever I have done it, or I would assume when people do it, it's because they want to uplift you, So I think, to me, that's the majority reason why men do it, is because one, either you look upset and okay, well, maybe I can uplift this person in some type of way and spark a conversation, right? To potentially help her have a better day, right? I know another big thing is Black women feel that they aren't protected. So maybe this is my way of showing that I'm willing to protect this woman that I don't know. Or it could be the spark of the conversation. Like there's so many different avenues that it can take.
Let me ask you a question. Do you is it okay to go to random dudes and be like, smile?
I mean,
it's just the stranger
Stop being so mean and aggressive.
I've seen a video.
It's weird for a man to walk up to another man and say, "Man, bro, what's wrong, man? You should smile or something." What's weird about that?
No,
well, it's not. It's just. I don't want to. It's not a bad thing. I think that we're thinking it's a bad thing. It's not.
No, y'all people demonized it. It was demonized. Like,
I don't think it should be demonized. I've had people come to me and say smile, and I'm like, I'll smile and keep it moving. But I think that you have to. It's like this. What if you at a point where you just lost your job and you ain't got no money, and a chick be like, smile, and you like, I'm not in the mood for that right now. Like, chick, who the fuck? You know what I'm saying? That could be like, who the fuck? Who you like? It just starts.
You're saying, what if in that moment that person, she just lost a job, and she's on the brink of unaliving herself.
Sure.
And this man walks up and say, "Hey, beautiful, you should smile more." That may be the little thing that'll keep her, keep her up.
And I want you to know that that will work for her. But what we're saying is it may not work for everybody. You should continue to keep spreading smiles, right? Just don't get mad if it doesn't work for somebody else, because that may be a different personality, a different situation. People go through different things.
No,
I'm not saying stop what you're doing. You should absolutely promote smile. You should encourage people smiling, but just don't get mad if everybody doesn't respond the way that you want them to respond.
no,
Well, I know even in here on the show sometimes, like, well, sometimes when you're just walking, you're focused on what it is you're doing, right? So it's not even that you're mean mugging or whatever. It's just like you got to finish this task, and you got 1,000 things going on in your head. You're like, all right, I got to get this. And so you're not smiling. So that kind of interrupts your flow of thinking sometimes too. But like even being on the show, sometimes I'm like sitting and I'm listening intently to what people are saying. And you'll see something on the side sometimes like smile, mistaken, you need to smile, or you're saying smile. Why all of y'all looking up there? Smile. Like it gets kind of like just chill. Like I'm listening, but the other thing too, I also think it has to do with upbringing and location. So I grew up in New York as well. You're not walking around cheesing at people. That's inviting somebody in your space. You don't want nobody in your space. No, you just keep your head straight and on swivel, make sure you getting where you gotta go, and that's it. So some of it is cultural depending on where you are. Because I know when I came down here, that was the other thing. My husband had an issue with don't be smiling up in no nigga's face. I know when I'm out by myself, I have to seem pleasant depending on where I'm at for my own safety and security. But for my husband, a dude or whatever, for him, it's like, no, when you're smiling, you're making yourself open and approachable. You don't want no dudes approaching you.
That's crazy as hell.
Right.
No, I get it. I get
too,
it. I get it, but that shit is crazy as hell. In New York is absolutely rude as fuck. Like that was the rudest city I've ever been to. But the fact that is even a thing is insane. You know what I'm saying? The fact that we have that women have been made to conditioned to not to stay away from smiling because they would be deemed approachable, in which I think that women should be. You should feel and be approachable. But if you're the mean mugging thing, I have seen that. If, you know what I'm saying, your face is just scrunched up. So even like with the ladies on the panel right now, right? Aside from Ali, she's smiling a little bit. But so if even with those faces that y'all have, that's something completely different to where I think you're deep in thought or you're going through something. Then it's like, okay, I can see something is bothering them. So let me try to do what's best as a man to give them a smile.